The sphere of economics includes the areas of science, technology, and business. Redeemed economics is essential for the renewal of the city. When God placed Adam in the garden, he gave him two jobs. One involved research and the other production, laying the godly foundations for this sphere. Economics plays a prominent role in the scriptures, filling fully 27% of the biblical text. The books that have the greatest amount of material about economics are Ruth, Philemon, Exodus, Joel, James, and the Gospel according to Luke. God's purpose for the sphere of economics is to release provision and model stewardship. Science is the generative motor of this sphere, for it produces the research and development that allows for the creation of wealth by unlocking new products and services. It is then propelled forward by the distributive capacity of the business enterprise, which produces, sells, and services those inventions. When stewarded well, this process of creating and distributing wealth should glorify the Creator who works with humans as co-creators in the desire to multiply innovative, life-enhancing products and services for the good of individuals and the community. Now, God is revealed in the area of economics, and through the sphere, God wishes to make himself known as Creator. The Bible begins, "In the beginning, God," Genesis 1:1. Right from the start, God wanted us to understand that he is a masterful artist, a brilliant innovator, a cutting-edge change maker. He is not, and never has been, a dull, monotonous, colorless maintainer of the status quo, but an exciting doer of new things, an avant-garde designer of the future, an entrepreneur who gives life-shaping realities. In Genesis 1:1, the phrase "God created" introduces an unusual grammatical construct in the Hebrew. God, the noun, is in the plural, and yet created, the verb, is conjugated in the singular. This grammatical irregularity, which occurs consistently throughout the scripture, hints at more than one personality working together in such a unified concert of action that it was as if they were but one being. Why is this important? Because it reminds us that God did not need us. Before creation existed, God already lived in an undescribable reality of loving relationship between Father, Son, and Spirit. This loving triune relationship is the foundational reality of all that exists, and it is the driving force behind all that has been created. All reality. The fruit of God's creativity is rooted in this divine love relationship. The good news is that we have been welcomed into the fellowship of this triune love, and it should impact every area of life, including economics. God also wants us to reveal himself as provider. In Genesis 22, we read an emotive story that is both heart-wrenching and heartwarming. God miraculously gave Abraham and Sarah a son in their old age, and then asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. Abraham was in the process of obeying this because he had grown to trust in the goodness of God, and because, as Paul says in Romans 4, he believed in the God who brings the dead back to life and who creates new things out of nothing. When he was about to strike the death blow, God intervened and provided a ram for the sacrifice in place of Abraham's son. Abraham named the place Yahweh Yireh, which means the Lord will provide. The story does not end here, for it was here that David would later experience God's mercy-tempered justice recorded in 2 Samuel 24. And it is here where Solomon would eventually build the temple, according to 2 Chronicles 3. And it was in this same area that Jesus would ultimately offer his life on the cross in order to provide purification of sins, according to Hebrews 1:3, and through that life everlasting. The name Yahweh Yireh reminds us that we can be confident that God will provide for us and wants to teach us his ways of provision. Now, the 52 key passages in the Sphere View Bible show us some of the insights that the scriptures have for God and the sphere of economics. The Bible not only teaches us that God created everything, but he continues to do new things. Because of his extravagant generosity, God provides for all of creation, even as he also provided for his people, Israel, in the desert. The Bible documents important research tasks, like that of the 12 spies who were sent to research the agricultural potential of the Promised Land, or like that of Nehemiah, who researched the architectural needs of Jerusalem. The Bible celebrates innovative technological advances, like Hezekiah's engineering wonder in 2 Kings 20, and Uzziah's inventive war machines in 2 Chronicles 26. And the scriptures point out the value of safe transportation systems in Judges 5, so essential for business. The Bible teaches principles for business, such as respect for private property and integrity in the marketplace. The scriptures institute Sabbath rest, establishes laws against overcharging, and warns of ungodly partnerships. Biblical wisdom is very practical. We are given various economic do's and don'ts, such as do not steal, work or don't eat, work so you can be a giver, be diligent, be generous, don't oppress the poor. All of these do's and don'ts are designed to help us understand what righteousness looks like in the economic sphere, so we can seek to be God's tzaddikim in the cities where we live.